When it comes to GALA, someone asked me, is 40,000 good enough? Now, I can't actually answer that question on anyone's behalf. However, I can at least give my thoughts on it, and even though nothing I say is financial advice, here's the way to take a look at this situation. If for whatever reason GALA went to the price of 25 cents, now at that point, if we do, some basic math, right, 40,000 times 25 cents, it's 10,000. Now, some people may be thinking, okay, why would I care about that? At least some of my friends might ask that to me, right? But to me, my sort of view is this. If that's not the only project I'm holding in my portfolio, I don't find that disappointing. Not to mention, if let's say I even just saved 40% of that. So let's say 4 grand, right? And I use that for the next cycle. Let's say during the next cycle that did a 10x for whatever reason in a make-believe scenario, becomes 40 grand. It's not something I would find disappointing either, especially considering even during the next cycle as well, if that's not the only thing I'm holding. But even besides that as well, or should I say if I'm holding other projects too beyond whatever 10x, right? However, if I take a look at the idea of 25 cents, that's around a 15x from here, and the market cap at that point, considering current circulating supply, would be around 11.5 billion. It's nothing that ridiculous to me. I mean, we saw Shiba Inu nearly 4x that, or should I say nearly 4 times that back in 2021. But besides that point though, when I take a look at GALA, why do I like it fundamentally? It's because I like its focus on gaming through something called GALA Games. Now, when I take a look at, blockchain gaming, sometimes you like to tell me, okay, why would you care about that? Blockchain games as of right now, they're not the best. I'm totally aware of that. Like for over, I would say probably 90% of the blockchain games I see, it's nothing that I would really want to play ever, in my opinion. A lot of them, they're not that fun, they're not that exciting, and just overall, I still think there's a ways to go there, right? And not to mention a lot of blockchain games I see, the tokenomics, they're just not that great. But besides that, why am I still believing in this space nonetheless? Some people may be wondering. Well, it's because if I believe in blockchain gaming, after everything is like quote unquote already somewhat perfect, right? What's the point? I mean, I kind of missed out on the journey, right? I still want to believe in a market before it really has taken off. Now, granted, blockchain gaming is a pretty popular sector, right? It's a pretty popular niche, I would say, but then it hasn't really become way popular, right? It hasn't become like too popular. So then I still like it nonetheless. And ultimately, even if it was very popular right now, the fundamentals are still not the best. So I feel like even despite that, there's still ways to go. So this is why I still believe in it. Like sometimes you'll say, oh, when it comes to GALA games, they're not doing too much. Well, my question is this. When it comes to a lot of other blockchain gaming projects out there, what have they done really, right? Some of them probably have a game or two, or probably not even any games whatsoever, but some of them are still pretty massive. Like, why is that? It's because I think as of right now, it's more so the narrative and kind of the story. And when it comes to GALA games, it already has kind of a proven track record, right? It's already at least like had some things a little bit, when it comes to GALA. Whereas some other projects out there, they don't really have that track record. So I still like GALA games, right? I mean, of course, when it comes to GALA, there's also other aspects too. Like, for instance, we take a look at the GALA chain, we take a look at GALA music, GALA film, which I want to talk about later on in the video. But first, if I take a look at the blockchain gaming market, it is expected to be worth over $300 billion by 2030, according to Grandview Research. So I find that pretty interesting. Now, it doesn't mean GALA is going to be the number one thing within that space, because maybe along the way, there might be some more competitors that might pop up, right? GALA might be, less popular. It might even be more popular if more competitors pop up, because who knows, maybe it's kind of proven that it is better, right? But only time will tell. There's a lot of variables here. But I still like the progression nonetheless, and I like the established nature when it comes to GALA, because oftentimes when I ask my friends about gaming, when it comes to these projects, right? A lot of them think about GALA games, some of them think about Beam, Engine, and some others too, but GALA games is still kind of considered as one of these popular projects within the space. So I still like its presence nonetheless. I get it, historically speaking. We take a look at the price when it comes to GALA. It's not doing the best as of right now, despite seeing some altcoins out there have a pretty okay recovery. Still a ways to go, maybe, the way I take a look at it. But you know what? Still not bad. I'm not going to complain about that, because, why would I complain about that? But besides that, when I take a look at GALA film, right? Sure, It's not the most exciting thing out there when it comes to GALA, but I still think it's not bad nonetheless. Like, for instance, if we take a look at the global movies and entertainment market size, it is predicted to reach over 100 billion, or should I say over 160 billion by 2030, according to Zion Market Research. Not to mention, if I take a look at GALA Music, right, the music streaming market size more specifically is expected to be worth over 100 billion, according to Grandview Research by 2030. So, it's not bad, I think, when it comes to GALA. Now, I don't think they're going to be the market leaders when it comes to any of these things that I mentioned before, but it's still not bad. Like, imagine if they're just top 5 when it comes to blockchain gaming. It's still not bad, right? Now, when it comes to film and music, that's a totally different case. But then, even when it comes to gaming, if it doesn't become number 1, let's say even just top 5 or top 10, if the market really does take off, still not too bad nonetheless, in my opinion. But you know what, of course, GALA has other aspects too. Like, for instance, we take a look at the GALA chain. So really, I think GALA has many avenues to hypothetically kind of achieve some sort of success. So this is what I like about it. You know, it's a very diverse project, and I do like seeing that. However, also on top of that, 25 cents, again, around a 15x from here. Like, I get it. It's not going to be the best hypothetical upside out there of all time, and how can it? You know, it's only around a 15x from here, going to, again, the price of 25 cents. It's nothing groundbreaking, right? I mean, GALA doesn't have the smallest market cap out there. It's not the biggest, but it doesn't have the smallest market cap out there. But I don't mind, because even though we saw BNB reach a new all-time high, right? We saw Ethereum during this cycle reach a new all-time high. We saw Bitcoin. If, let's say, I just use an example of Bitcoin and Ethereum. Ethereum, if it went to the price of 10 grand, that's less than a 3x from here. If Bitcoin went to 300 grand, that's also less than a 3x from here. So my point of view is this. Why would around a 15x disappoint me? It actually would not. This is just my point of view again. But then less than a 2x, it's just not that exciting to me. But at the same time, I'm not going to believe in a microcap because, yeah, sure, microcap could maybe hypothetically way outperform GALA maybe in the next 5 months if we see an altcoin season. It depends though, because for one altcoin that is like, you know, a microcap that makes it, there's a bunch that really don't. So, you know, it's just not something I want to believe in. I kind of want to believe in these more so mid-cap type of projects that have a pretty okay market cap, but then, you know, are not too big, but not too small either. Now, don't get me wrong, I also believe in some other projects too that have a way lower market cap than when it comes to GALA, but it's not like I'm believing in a project that has like $100,000 market cap or something like that, you know, but it's just my point of view. But besides that, I'm just going to stay patient because, quite frankly, that is the only thing I can do right now. Just staying patient, holding and just waiting and just preparing for a moment in time in which maybe there is an altcoin season. Only time will tell. But I'm just staying patient and waiting for that moment if it ever even comes. So whether or not it happens maybe this month in October, who knows? Or maybe I have to wait until next year. Maybe around January, February, or March or something like that. Whenever that timeline is, you know, I'm just going to stay patient. I'm still going to be here because I've been holding GALA ever since 2021. I mean, just check out one of my earliest videos ever. It was actually about GALA. So I've been holding for a while. And ever since then, a lot of things have outperformed my GALA holdings. Like, you know, it hasn't done the best ever since then, right? I mean, it showed momentary moments, I would say, of brilliance, but nothing really that significant. But you know what? I've just been holding too long just to give up like that. I don't want to give up. I'm not telling you to do anything, but this is just my perspective. I'm just holding, I'm just waiting, and that's pretty much about it. And feel free to subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I greatly appreciate it. It's Willie the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.